Those of you who were not here first semester, the very first problem that we did, very first one, was to solve the equation 3x plus 1 equals 11 for x. Some of you were shocked to find out that the answer was not 10/3. Some of you just subtracted 1, divided by 3, got x equals 10/3. However, the correct answer to this is x is undefined. This problem is meaningless. Now, if I had done like they do, well, I teach a course called AP Calculus BC, and what they do is on the very first page of directions, this is the Calc AB test, they attach meaning to x. They say, unless specified otherwise, the domain of a function f is assumed to be the set of real numbers x, for which f of x is a real number. Each symbol on the whole test has meaning attached to it using this blanket statement. So for example, if on the first problem of the year, if I had said, let x represent a real number, then you could have subtracted 1 divided by 3 to get x equals 10/3. If I had said, let's say in blue, if I had said x represents a whole number, then, since 10/3 is not a whole number, the answer would have been x is an element of the empty set. No solution. There are no whole numbers that can be multiplied by 3 and then have 1 added on to get 11. So this idea that variables actually have meaning attached to them it's a radical new idea for some students, because a lot of students think, well, I don't care what x means. When I see this, I'm just going to respond to these stimuli and just get 10/3 for the answer, even though it doesn't make any sense. It's a stimulus response activity. You see, when you attach meaning to a symbol with words, you're doing something that animals cannot do. I have animals that live in my home. This is Bonnie and Clyde. It's Clyde. Clyde has the white spot here. Bonnie's a little bit smaller. Bonnie is Clyde's sister.
Does Bonnie not have a white spot?
Not up on it. Not the same. It kind of looks like you here, but that's an optical illusion. Now, did you know that animals can attach meaning to symbols also? Like, for example, when animals see, if they sense something, it can be symbolic to them. So like, for example, if I bring in something spherical, like maybe a soccer ball, to Bonnie and Clyde, and I say, I bring in the soccer ball and I say something like sphere, 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 then they'll probably come and sense it. They'll sniff it, they'll look at it, they might even taste it. And so then, even when I don't have the soccer ball, if I say sphere, it'll come into their imagination, because meaning has been attached to this symbol sphere using their senses. I could also bring in a chicken. If I brought a chicken in and let Bonnie and Clyde examine it, they might look at the chicken, they might sniff it, they might even taste it. And if the whole time I'm saying chicken, 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 then when I don't even have a chicken with me, and if I say chicken, they could get really super excited. It's kind of like every day when I say, do you want to go for a walk? Walk. They hear that word walk. They know exactly what that means. And their imagination is filled with all the sights, sounds, and smells of going on a walk, and it gets them very excited. Animals can attach meaning to symbols using their senses. And you can do that too. But you can do that too. You can do it too. But one thing that you can do that animals cannot do is attach meaning to senses with words. Like, for example, one thing that Bonnie and Clyde will never be able to imagine is a spherical chicken. Because spherical chickens do not exist in the physical realm. They're not physically real, but they are real in the imagination. The reason you're smiling right now is because you're actually visualizing a spherical chicken. This is a real chicken that's perfectly spherical, no protrusions, just perfectly spherical chicken. You pop it on the grill, with some barbecue sauce, bake it up. It tastes delicious. This is a real chicken, but it's spherical. You see, the reason that you are finding it difficult to contain yourselves right now is because you have attached meaning to spherical chicken with words. We all know what a spherical chicken is. A spherical chicken is a chicken that is spherical. Bonnie and Clyde will never understand that because there aren't any spherical chickens out there that they can actually smell, sniff, or look at. They can only attach meaning to symbols with their senses. You can attach meaning to symbols with both your senses and with words. And that's what inspired one of my students to make the spherical chicken poster math journal. Because when she found out about spherical chickens and that only humans can attach meaning to symbols with words, made her realize that she's not just an animal. She'd actually been told throughout school, oh, you're an animal. As she learned it in biology class, oh, there's nothing special about people. People just came from mud and rocks. They're just accidental occurrences that are really no different than the animals. So, but animals like apes, they don't build libraries. They don't write books. They cannot imagine things that they don't sense. The reason that people can become engineers is because we can imagine things that do not exist in the physical realm. And you can use symbols to represent them. And when you use symbols to represent things that do not currently exist in the physical realm, you can then creatively bring them into existence. So it's this unique ability that you have to attach meaning to symbols with words that enables you to create things that the world has not yet sensed or seen or sniffed or tasted. So when you have an opportunity to solve a math problem and you realize, well, to do this, I need a symbol, attach meaning to that symbol. Use words to attach meaning to symbols. It's a uniquely human ability. Thank you for listening.